We're good? Alright. Hello everyone, and it is Friday at, unfortunately, 6:30 because we're a little late. But that's okay, because we're here with the Comparative Tarot Study Group. And today we have Foxglove, which is myself, doing Fairy Tale Tarot. 2 different kinds. I brought 2 decks this week. We have Lexi Renee doing which kind of tarot? Lexi? Rider-Waite. We have Wesley the Witch Dog, who you can't really see because he's, in the chair, but he's taking a nap. He'll be fine. He'll make an appearance later. And we have Melissa with
Ship of Fools deck and my OTO top tarot cards that may or may not be from the 60s, that are from either the 60s or 70s. Pretty vintage.
All right.
Those are vintage.
And then, of course, we also have our online viewers. And Latrice789 says that she's going to be using the tarot apps for the iPhone, as well as a regular deck of cards. And 7 Moons is using the Crow Magic deck, as well as the Rider-Waite, and the Galaxy Tarot, which is an app on her tablet. And so anybody else who has their tarot deck and would like to shout out which tarot deck they're using for this study group, please do so. Yep.
7 Moons, Crow Magic deck.
Ooh, love that deck. Great deck.
And definitely feel free to shout out what kind of deck you have for the rest of the year.
Rider-Waite and Shaman and Native American decks.
Ooh, a Shaman and Native American deck. That one should be interesting. Definitely share your thoughts with us tonight. And so tonight we're going to be talking about card 0, the Fool, or in my case, Innocence.
Mine is the Vagabond, or the Vagabond. Yeah, Vagabond.
Okay. Is that Wesley?
Yes.
No. He's good at toy. He makes noises. Alright. So who wants to go first?
Well, since mine's the Fool deck.
Alright, let's go for it.
Alright.
And this is your card, right? This is your favorite?
This is my favorite card. This card is kind of me, for good or for bad. I agree.
Yeah.
The Fool, or in my case the Vagabond, sort of represents the idea of innocence and sort of blind faith, of trust in basically wherever fate takes you. In mine it's a traveler on the road. Little doggy nipping at its heels.
Yeah, you might want to go up and show the camera a little bit closer.
Oh. And basically the idea of the Fool is that you're not hold it lower. Alright. That you're, not overthinking things,
Yes.
not necessarily over-intellectualized, just kind of going with it. And it's symbolic of journeys and things like that.
Alright, and so what kind of symbology do you have on your card that we just showed everybody?
Well, you've got the Fool, the Vagabond, he's got the Court Jester hat. Everybody in this deck has Court Jester hats of some sort. He's got a sack over his shoulder, so showing that he's a traveler. And he's kind of being dragged along by the little dog, which shows he's sort of being led.
Yeah, that's actually a traditional Rider-Waite symbology, is the little dog, right?
Yeah, a lot of this deck has sort of 2 sources that it was in. Well, 3 sources. Rider-Waite, the book Narashaf, Ship of Fools, which is where a lot of the artwork was inspired by. A lot of it is sort of modified panels from that, and also Rider-Waite.
Alright, well, since we're talking about the Rider-Waite symbology, do you want to talk about your Rider-Waite card?
So, I got the traditional Rider-Waite.
I want to take it closer.
Oh my gosh, they're going to make me work out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Was his girlfriend?
Oh. Okay. Don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to try.
Doing that doesn't matter.
So I've got the classic Rider-Waite look going on of the Fool, which is probably one of my favorite cards. Just because the Fool shows so innocence, childlike innocence, ignorance of the situation, to not thinking things through. But for me, when I pull it in reading, I find it really shows that a person didn't know what they were getting into, didn't know the weight of the situation beforehand. So.
Wesley seems to have lost his hat.
Oh.
All right, so that's the rider weight, and so
I think it's appropriate that we have the little dog with us.
I know we have a little dog here. He kind of looks a little bit like the rider weight little dog. See, he's got that.
Oh yeah, sorta.
A little bit, scruffy,
Oh.
plucky, apparently nipping at your heels. And then my tarot deck has a fairy tale associated with it, and I brought both of my decks tonight, and they both have the same story. Little Red Riding Hood. So this is my big deck, which we were talking about last week, and I didn't have. And then here's my little fairy tale tarot deck, which is the Llewellyn tarot deck. And this one's also got Little Red Riding Hood. You'll notice that there are two different parts of the story, though, depicted in these two different cards. In the little deck, we've got Little Red Riding Hood on her path to the grandmother's house, and she's being snuck up upon by the big bad wolf. And this looks like her first encounter with the big bad wolf. You can see all the flowers and everything like that. So I guess the big bad wolf is kind of like a little dog in you guys' cards, and that's kind of cool. I never noticed that. But he's bigger and scarier in this one. And then
Who was tripping on acid when they colored that?
I know, aren't they bright? I like these cards because they're huge and bright. And then on this one, she's actually I like to think that this is her making it to the grandmother's house. You might want to watch him. He's trying to destroy your coat. She's either just leaving her house or just arriving at her grandmother's house. And you can kind of see the big bad wolf in the corner there. And the big bad wolf is a separate card in this deck. So and there's like different symbology in these two different cards, and I like them. This one, the smaller deck, has a lot more detail in it, which I really like, even down to little mushrooms down there that represent coming across magic in your journey. Whereas this one's just kind of bright and fun. And then we have your OTO deck.
I'm still trying to find the one in my OTO deck, actually.
I have that tarot book. It's really old that has like descriptions.
Yeah, we should have brought that. We'll bring the tarot book next time.
I can run up front. Will you always talk about that?
Sure. Actually, you know what? My book has a little bit of a history with every chapter, and every card is a little bit of the history and the evolution of this card, but also sort of earlier depictions,
Well, I think that we shouldn't be doing book reading on screen, and that what we should be doing is doing the book reading ahead of time. That goes for everybody else. Do your homework before class.
Yes,
And we'll be more prepared next time. The Fool card, right? It's the inexperienced, and we're sitting here living the fool.
Yeah.
Living, learning, taking you guys along.
It's my favorite card.
Yeah. Well, and also the thing is, a fun little fact about the tarot that I really enjoy looking at is that some people believe it's the evolution of human life, that we go through cycles of 22 years, and that you start as the Fool, and each year you go through a different card. So based on your age, that's the arcana that you're at, and so that brings me to you're 18?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that would be the number 18. I don't know which card that is.
Look that up.
Crap, what's that? No rolls.
Hang on, I got it right here.
Sorry, you just gonna make me.
The moon.
I'm curious.
You are the moon. The moon card.
Oh, I want to be the star.
That's next,
You were the
isn't it?
star. Nope, the star was last year.
Oh,
That makes sense.
yeah. And so, and then you're...
I'm 24, so I hit 21. I mean 23. I'm sorry. I'm old.
That's how I'm prepared, and so you're the magician now, right?
Yes, I'm the magician, which in my deck is the Mountebank.
Right.
So I'm the con woman.
I'm actually the Fool right now, because I'm 22.
Right.
Well, I'm going to be turning into the magician this March. Yay, Pisces. So, anybody else who's 22 out there, or 0. If you're an infant or 22, then you are the Fool. And then there are also, obviously, every 21 years, I'm really not good at math, so I'm not going to go through the whole litany of them. Does anybody else want to share their tarot deck like what's going on with their deck with us? And if you don't want to right now, that's fine. You can always respond to this on YouTube with your own video. You can show us your card and talk about the symbology of it. We'd love to see all these different tarot decks and have you join us for that. And we will watch them, because we like to do homework now, right guys?
Yes, we do.
So, how would you see the Fool if it came up in a reading reverse? Would you say that a person has well knowledge on a situation and they're not as ignorant as most may perceive them to be?
Okay.
Well, instead of the...
Well, Seven Moons is saying that the Crow's Magic Deck has keywords on it for the Fool of Wanderer and Explorer.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard that as well.
Okay.
That it's new journeys, new beginnings sometimes. Like today I did a reading for one, and she received the Fool upside down. I interpreted that at the moment as she knew what she was getting herself into.
Yeah.
That she took the warning, she saw the warnings, and she waited before entering a situation. So she wasn't ignorant at all.
Yeah. And I can kind of see that with this one as well, because with this one reversed, the way I read cards is I pay more attention to the symbology on the particular card, as opposed to the traditional meanings of it, which is part of the reason why you'd have all the different kinds of decks of cards. And so for this deck, when you have it right side up, you have the wise trees lining the path, and so that would be, while you are starting out on a journey, you have all this wisdom backing you. You have all of the things that your ancestors have done before you kind of lining your way so that you can go on this straight and narrow path and be protected from the big bad wolf. But with it reversed, it's more along the lines of things that you don't know what's going on. They're beautiful, and they're new things, as opposed to you're kind of like jutting your own path, kind of like a Robert Frost.
Taking a chance.
Taking a chance, yeah.
Oh, Robert Frost, yes.
The path less taken. Although, that's more about suicide, isn't it?
No.
Really?
I don't
No,
know.
that's the path, that's the Winter's one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just keep.
Yeah. as opposed to this card over here. This is, I mean, it's the same fairy tale, but this one, when I see it upside down, I see this as more of the folly of your actions, because with it upside down, her basket's open and everything's going to fall out of it. As opposed to if it's this way, I see more of the butterfly and the chance for destiny taking a hold of yourself. So with this one, with it upside down, it's a little bit more, your innocence is going to be kind of your downfall. You're going to lose everything. As opposed to on this way, it's going to be those new beginnings that we talked about. Did you want to talk about the symbology of yours, upright or reversed?
My deck likes to tell me to lighten up a lot. It honestly loves telling me to lighten up. And I would either say that getting it upside down, depending on the spread and the situation, it might mean that. The other thing would probably be, organization, plan more.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and we didn't get to your OTO
Yes,
deck.
I finally dug up my OTO one, and I'm disappointed because I actually do not know very much about the OTO. I'm about to order the Book of Thoth, but I was hoping Al would be here to help explain this one to me a little bit.
Yeah, well, you want to show it
But
to the
I can
camera?
show it to the camera, and this one also has a dog, although actually it's a little feline-y in it. It's beautiful. I love the artwork in this deck.
You want to do it lower.
Lower. How we?
Probably. See where the camera's pointing? Try to do it towards where it's pointing.
Perfect.
Alright. So if you notice, the thing I noticed about this one, it sort of looks like the Fool is bound by a cord that's being pulled by the bird. And I mean, the bird I sort of took to mean as a sort of fate or just sort of the journey. And so he's just kind of letting himself be pulled along, not in a terribly active position. He almost looks like he's a prisoner. So sort of a prisoner of fate. The thing I really like about the Thoth deck, it has little cheats at the bottom. With the trumps, it only says the name, but with all of the minor arcana, it says what they mean. So handy. But yeah, this is you got the dog biting him, which is another classic. But yeah, and a path behind him. Okay, awesome.
All right. So does anybody have anything else to say about the Fool? Anybody online?
It's my favorite card, and you know, I love how even though there's only 3 of us, there's many ways to see the Fool. I love the innocence of him. I love the child's innocence that comes with this card.
I've always equated this card with hobbits.
Hobbits?
Yeah. This is the Peregrine Took of the tarot deck.
Lord of the Rings tarot!
There is one.
There is?
It's at Pyramid.
Whoever has Lord of the Rings tarot should totally come and join this group.
Mm-hmm.
So Lord of the Rings tarot sounds really hilarious. And I
Came this close to buying it.
Alright.
You should have.
I should have. I'm still waiting on Star Wars Expanded Universe Tarot and a Dragon Age Tarot. So if anybody out there is very artistic and wants to take that on for me, you may have yourself a commission.
True enough. Alright. So, if there's nothing else we have to say about the Fool,
Okay. Right. Okay. Here we go. There was one thing. The Toth deck. They say they don't call it the Fool in Toth.
No. It says the Fool at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't really see it because it has the word trumps, because it says the suit, or in the case of the trumps, with sort of a holographic writing over it, so you have to sort of angle it the right way to be reading one word or the other, which is kind of a pain in the butt if you're nearsighted like me. But yeah, if you look, I'll hold it up again. Is this good? I don't know if one angle you could see it says trumps, and from another angle it says the Fool.
sorry. You're just being the Fool card, right, Lexi? With your little dog?
Darn right. I'm gonna eat.
Alright. So, if there's nothing more about the Fool, if you guys have more information you'd like to share about the Fool, there is the comment section. Definitely comment it. Definitely like it if you want this group to keep going. Share it with your friends so that we can have more tarot decks, because the more tarot decks, the more we learn. Definitely do a response video with your tarot deck so that we can all see what it looks like. Because we like sharing, we like knowledge, and we hope you do too, because that's why you're here, right? And so, with that in mind, we will see you next week with card number 1, the Magician. And you guys probably couldn't see that at all. But yeah, the Magician card. And we'll talk about the Magician next week. And after we'll be back. So we'll have his conclusion. Alright, if that's everything, see you next week.